Roger Stone here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history. That's actual physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or you're retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/stone right now for your free Roger Stone Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit. Or call 800-747-6589. That's 800-747-6589. Call now to receive your free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.
Well, you guys know the deal. Every weekday morning when I'm done, we have a major superstar that takes over, 10 a.m. every weekday morning. He's also done at that time with his big TV show, Fox and Friends on Fox News. Brian Kilmeade also has his own terrific show, 9 p.m. Saturday nights. After my good buddy Mark Levin, who's in Vegas these days for the RJC, 9 p.m. It's called One Nation. So here he is on a Friday morning. We're going to see each other later on tonight at this big WABC gala. My dear friend Brian Kilmeade. Good Friday morning. Brian, how are you, pal?
Big question. It's on everyone's mind.
Okay.
Will there be a life-size cutout of me like there is of Sid?
No.
Like there is of Frank Morano?
No.
Like there is of Rita Cosby?
Nope. No. There'll be none of that.
Why do you tolerate that? Why do you tolerate this type of disrespect towards me? Sid, why would you even go if you knew that was the case?
Well, here's the good news for you. That cardboard cutout shtick, that was last year.
Gone?
That was last year. So I don't think. Yes. So. But clearly,
right, so nobody's going to be treated separately.
Right, exactly.
Differently.
But clearly, you've not gotten over this. There's a lot of you're holding on to.
My life is going so well. That's the only disrespect that was shown to me. Everything else is just on cruise control.
No, you're doing great. Look at you. Again, 2 TV shows, radio show, writing books. But I want to start with something today before we get to the serious stuff. You and I, of course, almost hosted a sports show together over 25 years ago. Everybody knows the story. So one of my dear friends in the sports business is Craig Carton, who is a former WFAN host. In fact, he's going into the Radio Hall of Fame in November. But now he hosts a TV show in your family, Fox. He's on Fox Sports 1, and, of course, you're on Fox News. So Craig was on yesterday. He's on often. And we talked about the new season. The Chiefs last night beat the Ravens. We're underway. You got the Packers and Eagles in Brazil later on tonight. And we wrap up Week 1 Monday in San Francisco with the Jets and the Niners. And I said, Craigie, who do you like for the Super Bowl this year? In New Orleans in February. We'll be there, by the way. And he made his pick, and it mirrors what we're going to see Monday night. He thinks Aaron Rodgers and the Jets will take on the 49ers. Your thoughts, Brian Kilmeade, on Craig Carton's prediction?
I am just not smart enough to predict the Super Bowl, especially because if I said that last year, would he last 4 plays? But yes. After coming off of Ian O'Connor's great book on Aaron Rodgers, I'm even more caught up and into that story.
Did you have him? He was actually on with me, Ian O'Connor, last week. Did you get him too?
How great was his book? I read every word of it. It's he did a great job with Belichick, did a great job with Jeter. He takes on the hardest subjects, and then Aaron Rodgers decides, hey, you know what? I hear he's doing his research. I'll sit with him, and then he's got to tear up the book again and get Rodgers, which is great, but it gets Rodgers' perspective. So I'm caught up in that story. I am a Giant fan, but I'm not a Jet hater. I would love to see. I think America would love that story because they pretty much look at the Jets now as the Cubs of football.
Yeah.
And I think that America would rally behind the Jets.
Yeah.
I really do.
Although, don't forget,
we were walking on the moon the last time they were there.
That's true. 1969, Super Bowl III, Namath beats the Colts. But even the Cubs a couple of years ago, Anthony Rizzo, now a Yankee, they won the World Series. It's been
I know.
It's been almost 55 years for the Jets. So let's get to the.
Do I think the 49ers are going to get there? Yeah. And just to keep in, so let's talk about radio. John Lynch Sr. hired me on XTRA All Sports Radio out in San Diego, which was Los Angeles market too. So I got to know. I was watching John, who's general manager of San Francisco, now in the Hall of Fame, fantastic player. He was showing me clips of his son when he was a quarterback in high school, and he's like, they say my son's got a shot at, playing quarterback in college, and I just kind of watched it, moved back to New York. And next thing you know, John Lynchby, I think he played 13 or 14 years, kept in touch with his dad, who briefly was with the Steelers. So the success he's had in San Francisco, putting together that team after blowing the Trey Lance pick, trading half his team, I think 5 picks to get him, and then realizes he's not there. So now he's, I guess he's with Dallas. He's with Dallas now. So I would think there's a much better shot of San Francisco being there, getting back again than the Jets.
I agree. And Shanahan's a terrific coach. And, John was also a great baseball player at Stanford. In fact, Danielle and I went to Game 1 of the Met-Yankee World Series in the Bronx all the way back in 2000. And Danielle and I sat with John Lynch and his wife in the Yankee booth for that World Series game. But I want to get to the big story.
Really?
Yes, here in New York City, and that is, yes, I did. I hung out with John Lynch more than once, actually, in Honolulu, at a Pro Bowl, the whole thing. He's a super, super guy.
What?
Yes.
Who sends you to cover the Pro Bowl? There's no news at the Pro Bowl.
I covered.
Who can afford to send you to Hawaii?
I covered 3 consecutive Pro Bowls, Brian, working for CBS Sportsline back in the day.
Really?
Yes, I did. I stayed in Kona, and I went to 3 consecutive Pro Bowls. Those were the days. Now, let me get to this Eric Adams stuff, because if I hear one more time from Eric, maybe even you, that Biden and Harris are furious with Eric Adams because he was so critical of the White House. Guys, I'm in this city. I've been following the same story. That's a lie.
Right.
He never even mentioned their names. He has said over and over again, hey, part of this responsibility is on the federal government. To me, that's not being overly critical. You're overly critical when you say, hey, Joe Biden, you're killing us. But he didn't do that. In fact, up until a couple of months ago, he kept the nickname, I'm the Biden of Brooklyn. So the idea that Eric Adams has been so vicious in his criticism of the White House, he does say federal government, but I think that's way exaggerated. And at this point, there's got to be something else in play. Everybody around this man is being looked at by the FBI in an attempt to get to him. It can't all be about Biden and Harris.
Well, put it this way. I can't put anything by. I know the Southern District of New York is now looking into him. After watching what they did to Trump and knowing that he did push back without he could have pushed back harder, I get it. But he was critical to the point where he was the Biden disciple, and now he's no longer even on the campaign. So that was something that was notable. But if this is about Turkey getting permits to build an embassy in a building, I think he's being targeted. If it's bigger than that, okay. But if it's something with this Turkey situation where he flew over and he expedited their moving buildings, and, come on. I mean, you got to be kidding me. It sounds like he's being targeted by could it be the city council who hates the fact that he's even not left wing enough for them? Could that be it?
I don't know. I can tell you that it's not just Turkey, that there's a lot of chips to Red China, that there's money all over the place, straw donors. There's a lot going on here. It's not just Turkey. I mean, we've got 2 other investigations. One is Turkey, one is straw donors. But there's rumors of other countries and some other corruption going on. So I don't know, but it does seem to me like just saying, oh, Biden-Harris, he's just like Trump, is lazy. I think that there is something they are looking for. We don't know what it is, and I think it goes above and beyond the White House. But I could be wrong.
Well, and put it this way, do you look at him as somebody, are you hoping that he's innocent in this? I mean, you've had dinner with him, you know him. Do you hope he's innocent in this?
I don't care. I've had dinner with him. I know him. I liked him. I still don't dislike him as a person, but he has really failed this city. And as a Jewish person living in this city, to have friends of mine that are Jewish that love this guy, when I saw what he did with Columbia, he did nothing. I'll say it again, if the Ku Klux Klan was on the lawn and they were terrorizing black students, Eric Adams never would have waited 13 days and gone to Rome while Jewish kids were being pinned up against the wall until they couldn't go to the bathroom, okay? So I am so angry that this guy allows these pro-Hamas murderers walk the streets and never says a word about it. If you can't stop them, at least come out and do press conferences that says they don't share our values. I can't stop him, but he does nothing. He says nothing. He's been such a colossal disappointment that at this point, I honestly don't care.
All right. I think he's so much better than de Blasio. Wouldn't you say that?
No, I would not say that, because the truth is de Blasio was awful, okay? But with that said, the expectation was, here comes Adams. He's going to fix this city. He's fixed nothing. What do you mean he's better than de Blasio? How? I mean, at least de Blasio, he made poor decisions. He hurt the city, but at least he made decisions. You had Rudy Giuliani. He made great decisions. You had Bill de Blasio. He made poor decisions. You've got Eric Adams. He makes no decisions. Nothing.
I thought de Blasio was a lazy guy.
He was.
I don't know what he did except for take a city that was running pretty well under Bloomberg. Whatever you think about his big gulps and stuff, I thought it was at least run efficiently. And de Blasio lived off that for a year and a half.
So you're telling me that we're going to define Eric Adams' mayoral run in this city by what de Blasio was? Who cares? Yes, de Blasio was worse. De Blasio was the worst mayor ever.
Okay.
So with that said, the expectation was, here comes Adams. What has Adams done? The city's a mess. Illegals everywhere, homeless everywhere, crime everywhere, pro-Hamas people running the streets, terrorizing Jewish people all over New York City. What has he done?
I'm not going to say, put it this way, if you listen to them, you hear that the crime is down in New York City.
Right, sure.
I don't believe that, but that's what they say.
Yeah. Well, let's move off of him and get to Trump. He had his economy speech yesterday, and, of course, he's referring to Kamala now as Comrade Harris. And the big debate is coming up on Tuesday night, and it's the same discussion for 10 years. It's annoying. Is Donald Trump going to attack her personally? And much like I don't care what happens to Adams, I don't care if he does that either, Donald Trump. Go ahead, go kill her. I don't care. Or is he going to stick to policy? Lindsey Graham now has become annoying. What do you expect to see Brian Kilmeade Tuesday night in Philadelphia?
Have you had Lindsey Graham on?
Oh, I know Lindsey for years. He's very, very close with my first cousin, Norm Coleman, who, as we speak, is in Vegas running the RJC. Been on my show many times. I like Lindsey, but from one day to the next, I have no idea what team he's on, and he's annoying with the Trump criticism. My opinion.
No, put it this way, all he wants to do is win. I think he took, and he just sees, one thing he did forecast, he said to me in June, he said, after that debate, he said, you don't want Harris. Harris would be a lot tougher a knockout than Biden. You want Biden in, and he was 100% right. But she has been worse. The way she does not do any questions, the way her videos are either staged with her VP, and she's doing cooking videos, which is every stereotype. Do you really want a woman who's trying to be the leader of the world going, okay, let me tell you what spices I put in my sauce? I mean, she's literally releasing this while refusing to do Q&A. If I'm a woman looking to change, to be Margaret Thatcher, you think Margaret Thatcher was putting on a smock and telling me what spice to put in my chili? So I think I talked to a Trump official last night, through text, I should say, and they said so much rides on the debate. And one of the reasons is because she's not available. And if she does okay in the debate, she will not do another interview. And it's going to be like trying to fight someone who won't, who will not hit you, will not show up in the arena. And that's a little bit of the worry. They think that Trump is ready, but they think that Wisconsin might be gone. Michigan's going to be tough. Pennsylvania looks great. Georgia looks great. Arizona looks great. So this is a brand new map. And in terms of the debate itself, I want Trump to mention Rachel Marin. I want him to mention the people that have lost their lives because of the border that she broke and that is denying. I want him to know her record as a DA. I have Joe Brown on One Nation. Joe Brown's known her for 20, 30 years. Says she's one of the worst DAs, AGs in America. Is totally unworthy, never led anything in the world. I'm going to bring him up on Saturday. What Trump has got to do is call her out on all these things. The hijacking of his policies, what exactly Joe Biden did, pin it to her, and let her either debunk and actually defame Joe Biden or own it. And he has an opportunity to go for even a clearer knockout. But I watched the Pence debate last night, and it was 90 minutes, 2 breaks. And sitting down, going back and forth on a projected policy, a lot easier than actually attacking the defend policy. She did better than I remember. So it's not going to be easy. But Joe Biden was actually, could not fill those 2 minutes. She'll be able to fill the 2 minutes. I think she'll always start off strong. She'll be scripted. But just like San Francisco, when Joe Montana was there and they used to script the first few plays, after that, you got to adjust to the field, and that's where Trump could make up real ground in the back end. Trump was great against Biden the first half. He was okay in the second half. So, and Biden was better. This time, Trump has got to get ready for her scripted remarks, her attack plan, and then once she leaves that plan, then he's got to go for it.
I think you're right. Listen, like in basketball, it's not who starts the game, it's who finishes the game. So Trump does need a strong finish in this one. You're right. She's alive. She's got a pulse, so she'll be better than Biden. Yeah. She will go to the convicted felon stuff often, tell us what a horrible person he is. That's going to piss him off. She's going to goad him, try to make him that guy that a lot of Republicans even don't want to see. And we'll see what happens, but it really does. This whole presidency in all those states could very well hinge on what we see in Philadelphia on Tuesday night. Brian, I will see you later on tonight. I'll be watching One Nation tomorrow night. And yes, I will make sure I stay within myself.
That's all. And also, what are you wearing so we don't wear the same thing? What are you wearing? Do you know?
Pink.
Pink?
Yeah.
Okay. We're not wearing the same thing. I'm pretty clear. Okay. See you later, Sid.
Love you, Brian. Take care. Here he is, the host of the Brian Kilmeade Show. Follows me 10 a.m. every weekday morning here on WABC, as well as Fox and Friends on Fox News every weekday morning, and his own terrific show, 9 p.m. Saturday nights, One Nation on Fox News as well. Big 7 o'clock hour about to come your way, including the great Curtis Sliwa. He's coming up next after Noam with the news.